Well, hello, everyone. Welcome, all you new ones. Thank you for joining. So, this is going to be the third part of the three-part series for Aries, the full moon in Aries. If you want to know exactly what the full moon does and what it's about and what Aries is about, the sign itself and the energy that is sort of we're in right now for the next couple of weeks, I'll have that video linked at the end of this video or in the eye icon up here. So uh, this video is going to be about how it's going to affect each sign. So we're going to start with Pisces. So again, we feel the full moon for about 2 weeks, some of us three. Kind of depends on how sensitive you are, what's in your chart, and it's always about free will. So uh, full moons, very quickly, this should be about completing something, ending something. You can have fate and destiny coming in. It could be illuminating something that you haven't seen before. Um, but this particular full moon is attached to the new moon in Aries, which was about 6 months ago. But some of us it's 6, 5, or 4. So March, April, or May, you could have started something. That's the new moon. Started something new. You could have been thinking about creating something, or something changed in your life having to do with that new moon. Aries is very forward. Aries likes to uh, charge ahead and then think about it later. So with it being attached to what was going on back then, this could be you're completing what started then, or you're completing and going into a new phase. Doesn't mean you're completing the project necessarily. Could mean that you're completing that part of the project and moving into the next phase. This could be you may have met someone and now you're moving into the next phase by this time in the next couple of weeks. This could be maybe you met a business partner, maybe you started a new business, maybe you received word that you were going to get a raise, but maybe you had to go for a particular project. Like this could be the endings of that. Okay, so whatever sign you are, it will fall in a particular house for you, and so that's what I'm going to be letting you know about. So let's start with Pisces. So the full moon is here. So it was at 2 degrees Aries. We're now on the 26th, but again, we feel the effects for the next couple of weeks until the new moon, right? And energies don't stop and start, they sort of blend. So you could be dealing with the full moon as you move into the new moon, right? And so in Pisces, the full moon was in Aries in your second house. Well, your second house is about your value. The second house is about the money you earn. So if you think back to March, April, or May, what was it that you started? What was it that you were thinking about? What was it that, or who came into your life having to do with the money you earn, the value you have? Maybe it's about a house, maybe it's about a car, maybe it's about a new job, maybe it was about a new position, maybe it was about moving to a new place. Whatever this was, you should be feeling the completions, endings, and then some of you, fate and destiny could be coming in. Again, if you want to know the energy of Aries and how you will deal with that, or how, yeah, the characteristics of it, you'll want to watch that other video. And then I have another video with tarot where you get to pick a group of cards, and this is sort of to let you know what could be coming about for you. So that's Pisces, in your second house. So in Aries, it's in your first house. So your first house has to do with your body, your path, your physicalness here, right? And so that could be in several areas of your life. So what could help you is to look back March, April, or May and see what was going on. What did you start? What were you thinking of starting? What happened or who happened to come in your life? And this in this full moon, it's about releasing, completing, endings, letting go of what no longer serves you. So you could have had someone come into your life and maybe you've completed that cycle with them. Or you could have had maybe because it has to do with your physical self. Maybe you were starting a new regimen. Maybe you cut your hair. Maybe you changed your clothing, something having to do with your physicalness as well. Like you could be having, or maybe you were getting ready to, have some sort of surgery, and then now is the time that it's going to be completed, or maybe you've already had it, and now you're at the healing part. So that has to do with your first house, Aries. But whatever this is, it's going to be either completed, ending, or moving to the next phase. And many of you could be having fate and destiny step in to close it out for you. But also remember that there could be something that you couldn't figure out before. And with this full moon, you sort of, like, maybe something wasn't shown to you, or maybe it was but you didn't pay attention. And with the full moon illuminating this, maybe you got some news, maybe you understand, maybe you finally got clear about something. So that could be happening for you, Aries. Now, Taurus, this is going to be in your 12th house. So the 12th house is about completions. The 12th house, so this is you, Taurus. The 12th house is about completions. And Aries is fearless. I think that's Aries' biggest gift. It can be a double-edged sword, but it's Aries' biggest gift. And so, and with your 12th house being the house of completions or endings, it could also be the house where there's hidden enemies. You could be having dreams and epiphanies to help you understand how to complete something, to help you understand how to end this. You could also have somebody coming in. But I feel like maybe some of you might have like dreams that you kind of feel like somebody's coming in, either to help or to start a new relationship, or maybe it's the way to make the money, or maybe it's the way to make yourself more stable. Whatever this is, you could be having some, I would say, epiphanies, some enlightenment, and a lot of it could be coming in your dreams. You're a very spiritual sign, Taurus, anyway. So I feel like you'll get the biggest answers in your dreams. I feel like you'll get the biggest answers when you're meditating, or when you're in silence, or when you're working out and you're not thinking about anything, but you're really focused, right? So you could have some sort of ending coming about whatever you were looking at or thinking about or changing in March, April, or May. That could be moving to the next level. So the next is Gemini. So my Gemmies, this is going to be in your 11th house of groups and networking. So the 11th house is the house of gains, but the 11th house is also, it supports your 10th house, right? And so your 10th house right now has been about really discovering bigger possibilities for you in your work, in your life purpose, right? And so, not that you aren't already connected, just that you were limiting yourself a lot. And so, with Pisces being in there and Neptune being in there, it caused you to introspect, it caused you to rearrange, it caused you to see bigger possibilities, and it caused you to, some of you, not be so secretive and sort of engage in the world more. Not that surface stuff, but the under the surface stuff. Okay, so with this new moon, whatever you started, whatever was going on in March, April, or May, some of you around your birthdays, whatever started for you in March, April, or May, whatever changed, having to do with your work, or maybe you were going to get a new position, or maybe you were going to get a position, or maybe you were trying to switch jobs, or maybe whatever this is, you're going to be completing this. You're going to be, you could be ending a job and moving into the next job. But also you could have a surprise. Like, I feel like some of you don't think you did as well as you did. And so you may actually have, so if you own your own business, you may actually have more clients, or you may actually have newer clients, or you may actually have influential people, because that's your groups, that's your 11th house. So I know I've talked about your 10th house, but it's connected to your 10th house in this instant too. It's always connected to your 10th house. It supports your 10th house, but for you, I'm feeling more your 10th house being activated because your 11th house is activated. Does that make sense? It's like you're going to get more. So it's the house of gains. So having to do with your life purpose, having to do with your work. So maybe you had, maybe you're going to change groups, or maybe you decided to change networks, or maybe you decided, or maybe you met somebody influential, or maybe you had the possibility of meeting somebody influential to help you in your work. or in your public eye. And so I feel like with this full moon, it comes to, so whatever you've been working on sort of completes, or that phase ends and you move into the next phase. But I do feel like, especially because you're Geminis, I feel like fate and destiny steps in for you too. Okay, so that's my Gemmies. All right, so my Cancers. So my Cancers, this is in your 10th house. Now you heard me talk about the 10th house with Gemini, but this is having to do with your career, your life purpose, what you do in the public eye, right? And so with Aries in there, I feel like whatever you'd started or begin to start or wanted to start, and a lot of you made some moves, but then you backed it off in March, April, or May. First, it kind of depends on you and your chart. But at that time, whatever you had begin to do, whatever you had started, you're moving into the next phase. So if you started a new job, maybe you're going to finally get like maybe you started a new job and now you're going to go from the the 90-day trial to the actual permanent position. Or maybe you started a new career and you get noticed for this project, or whatever this is. It's some sort of you're finishing up this sort of phase in this. Okay, does that make sense? And so remember, with Aries, this time, with this full moon, this is for all signs, this has to do with what I want versus what I need. What I want or what I need, right? That's what you're having to deal with. And it's especially in your life purpose or in your work and your career. What do I want versus what do I need, right? What do I want in my life? What do I want my career to look like? What do I want? Do I want to work at this job? Do I want to work in this career? Do I want, versus what do I need? I need the money. I may need, to be stable. I may need da 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 da. I may need, so it's what you want versus what you need. But all this started sort of in March, April, or May. And so there's going to be some sort of, for you guys, I feel like there's a decision that needs to be made. Okay, this is to get you to the next level. That's for my Cancers. Now for my Leos, this is going to be in your 9th house. So the 9th house has to do with long distance travel. So if you were thinking about long distance travel, or begin to put some energy into that, maybe begin to look at where you're going to go, or maybe something came up where you have to go long distance in March, April, or May. Again, this is what I want versus what I need, right? And so your 9th house has to do with long distance travel. It has to do with foreign people or foreign lands as well. So you could have been beginning to deal with people around that time, March, April, or May. And so this is going to take it to the next level. So you're either ending that with them, or you and that person, that situation, that thing is moving to the next level. Okay, and everybody's different. All your charts are different. So I'm not being specific because I can't look at everybody's chart. But this is sort of the energy. But it's about what do I want versus what do I need, right? And this is about endings and completions and fate and destiny. Now, my next one is going to be about Venus, because we're in shadow Venus right now. We're going to retrograde. So before I even begin the October videos, I'm going to do Venus, a series on Venus, okay? So that has a lot to do with, I feel like, for you guys, some 9th house stuff. So also the 9th house has to do with your education, higher education. So maybe you begin some new studies. Maybe you begin a new certificate of some sort. Maybe you were working on that. And so this is sort of the completion, the endings. Fate and destiny may step in, where maybe you begin to work on it. You found that you couldn't do it, but maybe this time, like now, you can do it. All of a sudden, maybe fate steps in and you get the loan, or fate steps in and you get word that you're in, because some of you are medical students, some of you are depending on what area of life you are, but maybe you get word that you're going to get accepted into that place, right? Okay, so this is also about, for everybody, this is about letting go of what no longer serves you. So if something doesn't serve you, this is the time to release it. Okay, now my beautiful Virgos, we've had a heck of a time in that Virgo energy. Just busy, 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 but there's a lot of deep healing going on. So now we have this full moon in Aries. So the full moon in Aries is going to be in your eighth house. So the eighth house has to do with shared resources, right? So you and another, maybe you and your spouse, you and a bank, you and a job. This is shared resources. It also has to do with inheritances, grants, loans. And so, with this full moon in Aries, whatever you had begin to work on or begin to do or think about or begin to prepare for in March, April, or May, for you guys, I would say, like, yeah, I would say April or May. Um, so, whatever you had been working on, it looks like this is going to be completed. But again, this is about what you want versus what you need. And also, if you have partners, because this is a partnership house, because this is a shared resources house, um, maybe your partner was working on something in April, March, April, or May, and so they may actually get the raise, or they may get the position, or they may get something. So their resource may increase, causing your resources to increase. Okay, so that could be happening as well. So just look for that in the next couple of weeks. But again, this is what I want versus what I need, right? This is not about anybody else. This is about you. This is Aries, me, 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 me. And it's a good me, 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 right? Because we need to really, really look at what we want versus what we think we need, right? What we're going to allow in our lives, what we're not going to allow in our lives, right? Okay. So next are my beautiful balancing Libras. So Libras, this has to do with your relationships. So this is the seventh house. You know, the seventh house is a mirroring house. The seventh house is where you learn your boundaries. The seventh house is where you learn relationships, right? And the reason I call it a mirroring house, if you've never seen me before, is because everyone and everything that comes to you is a mirror of you, right? They're coming to you for a reason. People that are in front of you, there's something you're trying to experience, something you're trying to understand, and also putting boundaries down. How much am I going to take? How much am I going to give? How much am I going to receive? How much am I going to allow? How much am I not going to allow, right? And so, with Aries, this has to do with you. You not giving so much to another. You not taking too much from another. The boundaries, being balanced in that, right? But Aries is about me. So what I want versus what do I need, right? Keeping that balance in there. And so whatever you begin to think about or work on or try to figure out in March, April, or May, this could be the culmination or the ending or the completion of that. Maybe you were working on trying to let go of something back in March, April, or May, and this could be where you finally do it. Maybe you were working on a divorce. Maybe you were working on a separation. Maybe you were working on a marriage, right? And so now this is the completion of that. But, you know, it has to do with partnerships and business. Maybe you were working on, you know, having a new partner come into your business. And this could be like the ending of that, the completion of that. Like we've gotten our paperwork done, we're doing good, we're all settled in, we're moving to the next level. So this could have to do with your family too, because this is all relationships. This is boundary. A lot of people like to say the seventh house has to do with the marriage. I think it has to do with marriage, but more. I think relationships. I think it's a relationship house of all kinds: money, things, people, situations, life. Right? That's the seventh house for me. So, but it's going to be very Aries. It's going to be like no fear. I can do this. I'm finally seeing that I'm valuable. You know, stuff like that. Okay, so next are my beautiful Scorpios, and Venus is going to retrograde in your house. So that's why I'm doing the Venus retrograde series next before I even start on the October stuff. But so you have Venus in there right now, but Aries is in your sixth house. So this is your health and well-being. This is your daily activity. This is where the 12th house is your subconscious. This is your conscious. Where the 12th house is like stuff that comes in on your path. This is stuff, these are issues that you see in your everyday life, right? That you can make the lifestyle changes or you can make the changes to your lifestyle to make things happen, right? That's the sixth house for you. So whatever you had begin in March, April, or May, you could be now ending that, completing that. Fate and destiny could step in. So let's just say that you were, I don't know, maybe you had to redo your schedule because you begin to work out, because you were really wanting to take care of yourself and do a better job of that. And then now you've been working on that and it's been really hard, but you've continued to work on that. And maybe now somebody comes in to help you, like to get you to the next level, to say, yes, I'll babysit, or yes, you can have this time to go do that, or yes, I'll help train you to the next level. Like somebody could step in and help you with that stuff. I'm just using the workout as a scenario, but it could be about um, your daily activities, these issues that you see, right, in your daily life. Somebody could be stepping in to help you, and then you have to decide what I want versus what I need, right? And these are the completions of that. This is something you'd already started working on or thinking about in March, April, or May. Make sense? Okay, so next are my beautiful Saggies. So Sagittarius, you're right here. So the full moon is going to be in your fifth house. So this is about something that you've wanted to create or begin to create, or maybe even a love affair began, because this is the house of love affairs. This has to do with your children too, but this is the house of something that you have created from your heart. So whatever you begin in March, April, or May, if your heart has been in your work, if your heart has been in your life purpose, if your heart has been in trying to make yourself stable, this is all getting you to the next level. Like you've completed that part of it, and it's trying to get you to the next level. So somebody could be coming in to help you. Somebody could be coming in to show you the way to make it a little bit easier for you. Also, you could have somebody coming in for a love affair. Whether that turns into a relationship is kind of up to you and that person, and what you're vibrating at, and what you're attracting, and what phase of life you're in, and if you're ready. But for the most part, this has to do with something that your heart has been in, that sort of you begin to think about it and do something about it in March, April, or May. I would say for you guys, like March. You guys were early. So March, maybe you begin to think about it. Maybe you didn't get to do it till April, but you were thinking about it, and then the new moon came about, and you took advantage of that, and now it's going to get easier for you. Now you're going to the next level. So something is ending, something's completing, and you're moving into that next level of something that you've created, of something that you really wanted, right? Okay, so next are my beautiful Cappies. Cappies, this is you, Capricorn. I know you have Saturn in there. You're used to working with Saturn. Saturn is now direct. You have Pluto in there, really, really causing you to look internally about your power, about what you're going to allow and what you're not going to allow. This has been going on for a while. It's going to continue to go on. You've done really well with Saturn, but now Saturn's direct, so those things that you've been working hard at, I know it looked like it was a standstill, but it's starting to move forward. Now you have this full moon. This full moon having to do with completing something or ending something, or fate and destiny can come in so you can manifest something. But this is about, and this is really, really important for you, Cappy, what I want versus what I need. Not what do they want, so that means what do I want, versus what do they need, versus that means what I need. No, because then you're going to undo, you're going to continue to work in this Pluto. I'm telling you, Pluto will like slam you if you don't do this. Okay? You especially, Capricorn. It is very, very, very important for you to be selfish right now. And I know that is not, I know that's something you can do sometimes, but when you love somebody, you won't do it. You have to, but you're giving too much sometimes. And so you have to have these boundaries. This is so that you understand your power, right? And so this is why Aries is in this full moon for you in this particular house, which is your house, right? I'm sorry, this particular house, which means your lineage, your DNA, you're feeling safe, you're feeling comfortable, you're feeling secure. This could have to do with siblings and family as well, right? But it is really, really important what I want versus what I need. Not what they want or what they need. What you want and what you need. This is what, so whatever you begin to work on, in March, April, or May. Could have been going to a new house, could have been moving to a new job, could have been moving to a new place, could have been ending a relationship. This is about you feeling safe and secure and comfortable. What do I want versus what do I need? You could have fate and destiny coming in. Maybe finally, if you have kept your ground, kept your boundaries, learn some of those boundaries, maybe somebody comes in and helps you just because they want to. Maybe they're like, wow, I finally get to help that person. Like, I finally get to help you. And so maybe they came in to help you so that you feel safe and comfortable and secure, right? If that's a relationship, a new relationship, if that's work, if that's family, if that's friends, if that's your siblings, like, this is about you this time. And I know Cappy, some people can say Cappies can be selfish, but and listen, I've known a lot of Cappies, and I was married to one for 20 years. They can be a little selfish, but when they love somebody, it's like they're not selfish at all. They'll give you the shirt off their back. So when it really, really, really matters, those deep, deep, deep things, they tend to lose and not take up for themselves. And this is really important that you do this, Capricorn, because you don't want to undo all this stuff that you've been working so hard on with Mars and with Pluto and with Saturn, okay? So really, really think, what do I want versus what do I need? And think about it this way, Cappy, and this is the last thing I'll say and then I'll move on. Think about it this way, Cappy. When you're at your best self, those around you will be reaping the benefits of your most, right? When you're at your best self. And the only way to be at your best self is to love you too, okay? Is to nourish you, is to love you, is to engage with you, is to understand that you matter. Okay, that makes sense? And then you illuminate that out to everyone around you, and they get to benefit as well. Okay, so you matter. You're important. You have to do this. All right, so last but certainly not least, Aqua. My little Aquarians, you know, don't have me yelling at you. All right, my beautiful ones. So, whatever you began in March, April, and May, I know that a lot of you were beginning to be in your head, and then you're like, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And so you've been doing the steps and doing the steps and doing the steps, right? And things sort of progressed, and then you weren't getting as upset. We had a horrible summer. We had a tough summer. I know. And some of you are still stuck in your head. So Aries is forward movement. Aries is like, let's do it. I'm not going to look. I'm just going to go, right? That's Aries. And this has to do with your third house, right? So Aries full moon is in your third house. So whatever you were thinking about is beginning. Maybe somebody came in. Maybe some situations came in March, April, or May. You're going to be completing those. You're going to be ending those. You're going to be moving into a new phase. You have fate and destiny wanting to step in for you. This third house has to do with not just communication, which is very, very important for you, Aqua, because you don't do it enough. Excuse me. I know people would say that you do. You don't. You let people assume things. You don't really say what you want. You oftentimes say the opposite of what you're really meaning. Trust me, I know you, Aqua, okay? So this is really, really important to say what you want and do what you want. And that do what you want means communicating to the world what you want. That's Aries. What do I want versus what do I need, right? This could have to do with paperwork that you're ending. Maybe you were dealing with a divorce or a marriage, or maybe you were dealing with something having to do with your work. Maybe you were trying to figure that out and get that together. Whatever this is, you could have somebody coming in and helping you. But you have to ask yourself, what I'm getting from Spirit is you got to tell the truth to yourself. Tell the truth to yourself, your truth, right? Because truth is subjective, right? And so that's why you sort of let people assume things. But I won't tell all your secrets, I promise. But you have to tell your truth to yourself. I want this. I don't want this. I do want this, and I'm going to do this, right? I'm going to take the action. I'm going to be responsible. I'm going to get the energy moving. Or you could say, I do want this, but that's way too much work. How can I figure out how to do that without too much work? I mean, just be honest with yourself. So you could have some completions, you could have some endings, you could have some fate, destiny stepping in, but honest, and this is a big one. This is about letting go of what no longer serves you. And if that means I got to let go of this negative thinking, I got to let go of this lethargy. And if you don't know what lethargy means, it just means being sluggish, having no energy, being in my head all the time, but not really doing anything about it. That's lethargy, okay? So um, it means letting go of what no longer serves you in this house so that you can get to this next level that you're trying to get to. Make sense? All right, my beautiful ones. I love you, love you, love you. I will be working on that Venus retrograde series. And then after, I'm going to do the October readings. And let me know if you saw the tarot, pick a card. And if you like that, I'll do that for the Venus retrograde. I love you, love you, love you. Be good. Bye.